Okay, is it working now? Okay, great. So just to let you know, we might be on a little bit of a delay, but yeah, hopefully it'll stick. So I just kind of changed the settings a little bit so we don't have any of the freezes there. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and do this out here. Oh, I actually forgot my water. Let me get that. All right. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and get started here. All right. Okay, let's get started today. Welcome back to Wednesday, end of the week time today. So today, we're going to get into another couple of sections here within Chapter 3. We're actually almost done with Chapter 3. So we're kind of 2 weeks in, and we're working ahead, and we're in really good shape here in terms of pacing. So we'll see if we get through. We'll go slow. Again, we went slow yesterday, or not yesterday, on excuse me, Monday, about doing truth tables, and I definitely agree. Things are, a little bit confusing in terms of how to get comfortable with truth tables and stuff. So we're going to be looking at many more examples here today, doing more truth tables. All right, just getting used to our rules. So if you have the rules there, that'll be very helpful for you. Okay, so having the rules there will be incredibly helpful for you. So we'll go ahead and get started here with section 3.5. All right, so let's get going. All right, so specifically, let's talk about section 3.5. Section 3.5 talks about equivalent statements. Okay, they talk about variations in, they talk about equivalent statements and variations um, of conditional statements. We'll talk about that part later. But let's talk about what equivalent statements are. Okay. At the end of the day, equivalent statements are going to be two statements that have the same truth table. So if they have the same truth table, that is the quintessential definition of an equivalent statements. Pardon me. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to see if we have two equivalent statements. Again, we're just going to compare their truth tables to see if they are exactly the same. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at an example here, and we'll see exactly what we're working with. All right, so this is this is going to be page, let's see here, page 174. Okay, so we're going to go to page 174 here. And let's use a truth table here, okay, to determine whether the two statements here are equivalent. So we're going to write down these two statements and see, is this true, is this not true? So let's go ahead and give number 5 here a try. Okay, so let's make this a bit bigger here. Okay, so let's look at number 5. We have two statements here that we're going to go ahead and put together. So let's write those down right now. Here we got, need to write that down. Okay. So what we have here is, again, if P, then not Q. Okay, and not Q, then P. All right, so that'll be our first one that we want to check, and our second one here that we want to check is going to be P if and only if not Q. Okay, so we're going to determine whether these two particular statements are going to equal each other in some form or fashion. All right, so let's put it over here. So this is what we have here so far. Okay, now let's make our table here, and let's see what we get. Okay, let's insert a table. Okay, so I just kind of added a bunch of these. I don't know if I'll use all these columns, but we'll just go ahead and just see what we're working with. In any case, we're first going to put P, all right, and we'll put Q. So P and Q here, because again, we just have two statements here. So we have, again, let's go with, we got true, true, false, false, and true, false, true, false. Okay. So let's talk about the first thing that we're going to put down here. The first thing that we're going to put down here specifically is going to be not Q. Okay, so we're going to put not Q here because we do have not Q littered all over the place in terms of our statements. So we're just going to flip that around. So false, true, false, true. Okay, no problem. Okay, now let's check out the other ones here. What statement should we put down next? What do you think we should put down next? What statement do you think you guys should put down next? So I'm going to put it right here in this next column. Not P. Well, we would normally use not P, but not P is not included in either one of these statements. So again, I wouldn't use not P because it won't be useful in the overall truth table for either one of these statements here. P and not Q, okay? So just starting from this first one here, we have if P, then not Q. So we're going to start with that, okay? Okay. Oh, actually. All right, so that's going to be our next one here. Let's go ahead and do that. All right. So let's go through this carefully here using our if-then table, okay? So we're doing if P, then not Q, so this first column and this third column here. So let's go over this carefully here. So we have if true, then false. So if true, then false. What do we get there? So if true, then false. What's that? So if true, then false. Check your table again. You say that's true. Check your if-then table from last time, everybody. I want you to take a look at the tables there. I know we had a tough time with it last time. Or take a look at your notes where you put those little tables in. Okay. So the answer to this one here, if true then false, will be false. That's correct. Good. So you got to review your tables here, guys. If true then false will be false. All right? So you have to know your logic tables here. That's very important. So I want you to look at not, and or, if then, and if and only if. We looked at those tables previously, and once again, we're going to be using them here quite extensively. So be sure you get to know those. How about this next one here? If true, then true. So if true, then true. Okay, true is correct. Good. All right, let's look at the next one here. If false, then false. So if false, then false. If false, then false is true. That is correct. Yes. All right. Last one here for this one. If false, then true. So if false, then true. That's correct. That is also true. Correct. Good. Okay. So that's the first one down. All right. What's our next what's the next one I should put in the next column? What's the next statement in the next column over? All right. So we're going to do the second half of this. Not Q, if not Q, then P. So that's correct. Okay. So let's do that one. Oops. All right. So that'll be the next one here. So let's go over this carefully. We're going to take the not Q column here, and we'll take the P column right here. All right. So let's start off here. We have if false, then true. If false, then true. What will that be? If false and true will be true, and that's correct. Okay, next. If true, then true. So if true, then true. Good, that's right. That'll be true. All right, next one. If false, then false. So if false, then false. So if false, then false. What do we get for that? Yeah, that's right. So if false, then false will turn out to be true. Okay. Let's look at the last one here. If true, then false. So if true, then false. Okay, good. That's correct. The answer here for that one is false. Okay, good. So far, so good. Okay, let's look at the next one here. So the next one here is basically this whole statement, okay? So with the and here in the middle. So we're going to take these two columns here, this column and this column. We'll and them together, and we'll see what we get. All right, so here's the and in here in the middle. So let's look at this. We got false and true. So false and true. What's that going to be? False and true. False. That's correct. Good. Let's look at the next one here. True and true. So true and true. True and true is true. That's right. Once again, we have another true and true, so same result, of course. All right, let's look at the last one here. So we have true and false. So true and false. Okay, false is correct. Okay, good. So this is the truth table for the first statement. Okay, so the first statement says, again, this is the truth table for the first statement. Now, with P if and only if not Q, if that has the same exact truth table that we just found right here, then we can definitively say that they're equivalent. Okay, so we just have to get the same exact results as we got here for the longer statement. So let's do the last column here, and let's see what we got. So all right. So here we're going to have, there we go. Here we're going to have P if and only if not Q. So we're going to take this first column here and take this last column here. We'll if and only if them together, and let's see what we get. All right, so we have true if and only if false. So true if and only if false. What will that be? True if and only if false. False is correct. Good. Nice. Okay, let's look at the next one. So here we have true if and only if true. So true if and only if true. That is definitely true. Good. Let's look at the next one here. We have false if and only if false. So false if and only if false. That is correct. Julio, that's correct. We actually have true here. So this one is true, okay? So just be a little careful about that. If you have the same letter, then it's going to be true. If you have different ones, that'll be false. So for if and only if, that is. Okay, let's look at the last one here, which says false if and only if true. So false if and only if true. It's all good, man. So false if and only if true. That is indeed false. Okay, so let's take a look here at both of these columns. As you can see, we got the same exact truth table for both of these particular statements. So our conclusion here after that is, again, so the two statements are equivalent at the end of the day. There you go. Okay. Any questions about that? Yay, indeed. Hopefully that wasn't too bad. Okay, let's go ahead and do another example here. This time, uh, we're going to look at words instead of just letters. So let's go to the book here again. Okay, so let's take a look here at, let's see, which one do I want to do? All right, we'll do number 18. That's fine. Oh, actually, that's not the greatest, to be honest. Okay, here we go. Let's go with number 15. All right, and we'll work our way from there. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're trying to select the statement that is equivalent to one of the following statements. Okay, so we're given an original statement here. It says, I saw the original King Kong or the 2005 version. Okay, now we want to see which one of these four statements here is equivalent to that statement there, again, in terms of your truth tables. So the thing that we have to do here first in a problem like number 15 is we need to go ahead and define our P and Q here. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Okay. All right. So let's define P here. So can anybody tell me what should P be symbolizing here? What should P symbolize here in this case? So you guys got to tell me what P defines here. It's okay, I'll wait. That's not a problem. Okay. Good. So I saw the original King Kong. All right. What should Q represent? All right, the 2005 version. All right. All right. Fair enough. Okay. So, how should we write this statement here? This original statement. We'll compare it to the other four here, but how should we write this original statement? This guy at the very top. So how should we write the highlighted statement here? I saw the original King Kong here. Yes, Julio, go ahead. Okay, P or Q, that's correct. Good. So again, Julio, P and Q can be either statement, okay? You can make the statement however you want. So I made P here be the first statement, which was I saw the original King Kong. Remember, as we talked about when it comes to statements here, they just have to be either a, it has to be either true or false, but it can't be anything else in between. Either you saw the original King Kong or you didn't see the original King Kong, whichever one works. So when you're just separating them out, you can separate them out either again using the operator of or, as you can see there, the or there in the middle. That's a good way to kind of separate stuff out here, is using that or there in the middle. Or you can also just take a look here at the sentence and say, are there two parts? Are there three parts here? What are my definitive things? I either saw it or I didn't. Okay, maybe one of those two. Okay, so that's the reasoning behind why we choose P and Q. You could technically pick P as I saw the 2005 version and Q as the original King Kong version. You just have to reverse the letters around so it matches it up. No problem. Okay, so our little table here, let's go to our table. Okay, so let's put our P's and Q's. So here we have P and we'll have Q. All right, so we'll put our true falses. So true, true, false, 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 true, false. Okay. And our first one here will be P or Q. All right, so there we go, P or Q. All right, now let's go over the rules here for or. Okay, the or operator. So we have, in this case here, we have true or true. So true or true. What's that? True or true? All right, true or true is true. Good. All right, let's look at the next one here. True or false? True or false? True or false? So look up the or operator there. To say false, okay, remember or means you do one of the tasks or both of the tasks and you still get your reward. So or here doesn't work the same way as and. Okay, so the answer has to be true here. Again, or is only false if they're both false. All right, how about false and true? So false and true. False and true. False or true, sorry. False or true, my bad. False or true is false. So the answer to this one here is true. Okay, false or true is also true. Okay, again, if you go back to our example here that we talked about a while ago, I vacuumed the house or I cleaned the dishes. Maybe I didn't vacuum the house, but I cleaned the dishes. I still get my reward at the end of the day. So that's why we are trying to say here, that's why it's true. I did at least one of the two tasks, so therefore I get my reward. Okay. All right, let's look at the last one here. False or false? So false or false is false. Good. Okay. Okay, so our subsequent equivalent statement here should be equal to this P or Q statement right here for all trues and one false. Okay, so it should be this exact same truth table. Okay, let's look at each one here and we'll go ahead and put it together. All right, if I did not see the original King Kong, I saw the 2005 version. So if I didn't see the original King Kong, then I saw the 2005 version. So how can we write that in a statement with symbolic letters? How can I write that in terms of P and Q? If I did not see the original King Kong, I saw the 2005 version. Can anybody type that out? All right, let's give it a try here. All right, so if I did not see the original King Kong, all right, so how would you write that? If I did not see the original King Kong, what would you write there? Okay, not P. Good. Good start there. All right. So I have if not P. So if we have if not P, so we have tilde P. Okay. Then what should I have here? Then I saw the 2005 version. So what should I have right after that arrow? All right, good. So we have if not P, so if not P, then Q. So we're going to try that out. And we're going to see what we're working with here. Okay, so let's go back to our little table. Again, if A is our equivalent, then we should get the same exact truth table here if we have P or Q. So let's find out. We're going to make a little bit of an extra column here just in case. So let's put a little extra column here just for giggles. Let's see here. Let's insert a column here. Okay. So we're going to put in one more column here. We'll put in not P, so that way we know what we're working with. All right. So having that here, we're going to have specifically not at size 11. Will be good. So we're going to just change all the P here into, we're going to flip it around. So we have false, false, true, and true. Okay. And so now we got not if not P, then Q. So we have, all right, so let's go through this carefully here. So if false, then true. So if false, then true. What will that be? So if false, then true. So if false, then true would be equal to, would that be true or false here? That would be true. That is correct. Good. All right. Let's take a look at the next one. If false, then false. So if false, then false. That's right. It is true. Okay, good. Let's look at the next one here. If true, then false. So if, oh, I'm sorry, my bad. If true, then true. I read that wrong, my bad. So if true, then true. What's that going to be? So if true, then true. All right, that'll be true. Good. And then finally, if true, then false. So if true, then false. What will that be? All right, good. So if true, then false is going to be false. Nice. All right, so now we need to compare the truth table from our original one. So here's the truth table for P or Q. That was our original statement. And we want to see if it's equivalent to not if not P, then Q. And as you can see here, it definitely is. All right, so we have 3 trues and 1 false here in that exact order. And once again, we have 3 trues and 1 false in that same exact order. So we could say here, we don't need to check the other ones here because we already have found the equivalent one here. So in this particular instance, again, your answer here would be the equivalency would be not if not P, then Q. So if not P, just then Q is equivalent. Okay, and there we have it. Any questions so far about that? That's fine. We could do another example. That's okay, Fernando. Let's do another example, okay? I don't have a problem with doing that. Just as long as yeah, absolutely. Hi Rohan, how are you, my friend? Yeah, let's do another example. Let's take a look here and see if we can at least pick it up here on a second pass. Okay, so let's try. Oh, just what I said at the end. Okay, so at the end here, Fernando, basically we just compared the truth table of our result, okay, which was in this case true, 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 and false, and we compared it to the original truth table here, which was P or Q. That was the statement that they had given us, says I saw the original King Kong or the 2005 version. So here we have, again, we have true, 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 and false. Thanks, Rohan. I really appreciate the kind words. I'm doing great today. So, to answer your question there, Fernando, yeah, I'm just comparing this table to this table right here. So these two guys are kind of the guys that I'm. Oops, probably want to hit Control for that. Um, these are the two tables I'm actually comparing with. Okay, my original table, which was P or Q, and then this one here. And since they had the same truth table, then I can make a claim that they're both equivalent at the end of the day. So I'll do another example here for sure, but that's kind of what I said there at the end to make the claim that not if not P then Q is equivalent to what we have here for P or Q. Are there any questions about that? I hope that cleared up that kind of confusion. Okay, want to be sure that you got that. Cool. Okay, but let's go ahead and try another example. I think another example is definitely in the cards. So let's take a look here at the second one. All right. So let's take a look at this next one here. Again, we're going to set up our statement and everything. So we'll see what we'll see what we're working with here. So go ahead and copy that. Let's copy paste. Bam. All right. All right. I'm just going to erase this stuff here. We're going to work with what we got. Okay. All right. So let's look at the number 16 here. Okay. So we have select a statement that is equivalent to. Now in this case here we have our original statement, which says Citizen Kane or Howard the Duck appears in a list of greatest U.S. movies. Oh boy, Howard the Duck. Oh boy. All right. Anyway, boy, that was a pretty bad movie. All right. Anyway. So the trues and false stay on the. Are you talking for like P and Q here? Like right here? Oh, Julio, I just want to be sure. Okay, yes. So if they are, if it's P and Q, just like two statements, then it's going to be four cases like this, okay, like you see here on the screen. Or again, what will be given to you if you have three statements, there'll be eight cases, like we discussed here last time when we did truth tables for eight cases with P, Q, and R, respectively. So that will be on the homework. It'll be there for the homework as well. It'll list all eight cases if you have three statements, or if you have two statements like this, it'll list all four possible cases. So you don't have to worry about like kind of arranging that. The problems will do that for you in your stead. So it'll be the same tables every time. Okay, cool. All right. Now, before we start with this, we have to go ahead and define what P and Q are. That's very important. So let's define P and Q. Okay, so can anybody tell me what would P be here in this case, based on our original statement? Again, Citizen Kane or Howard the Duck appears in a list of greatest U.S. movies. Mercy. Hello, Linguini. Welcome to the channel. All right, so P here. So let's split that up here. Okay, so you're almost there, Jamie. Um, so P here is going to be, we're just going to keep it as Citizen Kane. So we'll say Citizen Kane appears in a list of greatest U.S. movies. So I'll just paraphrase here. Citizen Kane appears. And we'll take a look at Q here. Now, if you see there what you wrote out, Jamie, you have the word or in that statement. Okay, so since you have the word or there, we're going to have or, and then we're going to have Q, which will be the Howard the Duck movie. Sadness. All right. Howard the Duck sadness. All right. All right. Okay. So P will be Citizen Kane, and Q will be good. Nice. All right. I like positive progress. It feels good. All right. Okay. So let's take a good look here, and let's go ahead and put some of these statements together. So in this particular case, we have Citizen Kane, and we have Howard the Duck. All right. So what we're going to have here is, since we have P or Q once again, so P or Q. So in this case here, we're going to have the same, same truth table as we had before. So let's go ahead and put out that truth table there. All right, so this is our original truth table of P or Q. Let's try A, B, C, and D, and all those guys, and see what we get. All right, so letter A. If Citizen Kane appears in the list of greatest U.S. movies, then Howard the Duck does not. So can anybody tell me how they would write this statement here for letter A? If Citizen Kane appears in the greatest movies, then Howard the Duck does not. What do you think we could do for symbolically setting that up? Okay, that's correct. All right, very good. If P, then not Q. Nice. So let's write that down. Okay, so let's go ahead and put that in our next thing here. Okay, we'll make a little bit of a separate column here once again. So let's go ahead and insert a column here. So we're going to make a column here for not Q, so because we'll use that here in this instance. So not Q here, we're just going to reverse all the Q's around. So that'll be false and true, and false and true. Okay, so in this case here, we have P, if P, then not Q. So we have if P here. So we have if true, then false. So if true, then false. What will that be? So if true, then false. Okay, false. Good. That is correct. All right, so far so good. All right, how about this next one here? If true, then true. So if true, then true. What will that be? That'll be true. Correct. Good. All right, next will be if false, then false. So if false, then false. If false, then false. Take a look at your table there. If you're not sure, that is true. Good. All right, last one here. If false, then true. So if false, then true. Oh, that's okay. It happens. I understand you climbed up to your rooftop and like shouted it to the heavens. It's completely understandable. It's all good though. You're like, oh my god! So if false then true, that is going to be true. All right. All right, so we're going to go ahead and compare what we have here. Ah, that's okay. That's okay. Guys, will take your time today. Guys are a little quiet today. Usually you guys are a little bit more talkative today. So hope you guys are okay. I know this is a little confusing. So again, if you're feeling confused, feel free to ask me questions and stop me, okay? Okay, that's fine. I just want to be sure everybody. I know it's maybe 2 o'clock in the afternoon is a little early for you, but just want to be sure that you're okay. That's all. Okay, where are you confused there, Julio? Like you guys gotta tell me where you're confused or you're having a little bit of an issue, so that way maybe I can clear it up for you. So you get the chart, you just don't understand how from the chart you define the answer. Okay, so that's fair. All right, so one of the things that you have to understand here, Julio, is we're slowly putting these pieces together here. Okay, so first and foremost, let's talk about the steps here one more time. We first found out what the statement was, the original one, and that turned out to be P or Q. And you can read off the chart here, again, this is your circumstance. P is true or Q is true, because we're using this operator here in the middle. Okay, that's essentially what you're using the chart for, is that when you use that operator. Okay, So basically, at the end of the day, when you look at that chart, you're using the appropriate operator to make that definition. So we say, that's when I say true or true. Then I ask you, look at the chart. What happens if it's true or true? You would say true. Okay. Now, once we set up, say, this first statement, we said if P, then not Q. That's how we set up that statement based on what we see for letter A. Okay, now we're missing a piece of the puzzle here. The piece of the puzzle here is not Q. So I made a separate column here for not Q, so we can at least see what our trues and falses are for each individual case from the Q column. So that's why I flipped it around, and I have false, true, false, true. Okay. Are you with me here so far, Julio? Okay. Well, let me talk about the next part here then. So now I have my pieces in place because this says if P, then not Q. So I'm going to use this column first, the P column, and I'll use my not Q column for the then. And then go back to my chart and use my rules for if then. Because again, the operator we're using here is the arrow that you see here. So that's why I'm saying if true, because P comes first, then false. So then you look at your chart there and you see where you have if true, then false. And then you take a look at the result, which is going to be false. And then I rinse and repeat that process again. So I say if true, then true. I look on my chart there. If true, then true on my chart, my original chart for P and Q will be true. So I see T and T, and I see T. So that's what I have for the if-then operator. And then I repeat that for the other two as well. So we're using a chart as a kind of a reference there in order to see what we get here for trues and falses. Other questions about that? I wanted to be sure that I make that a little bit more clear. Kind of meh? A little bit more clear? Okay. Well, I'm fine if it's a little meh, all right? That's okay. I just want to be sure that it's a, I know it takes a little bit of practice here. So let's have you try. We're going to try the next statement here, okay? And then we'll see if we get this down. So if Howard the Duck does not appear in the list of greatest U.S. movies, then Citizen Kane does. Okay? So let's go back to our statement here. So if Howard the Duck does not appear in the list of greatest U.S. movies, then Citizen Kane does. So if we set this up here, Howard the Duck does not appear, so that's going to be not Q. Okay, so we'll have not Q. And then that's an if-then statement, so we'll have if then. And then Citizen Kane does, so we'll put P here. We'll go ahead and put that in our next column here. All right. Okay, so we're going to look at the not Q column first, and then we'll look at the P column second. Okay. You're interested in my TOS portfolio? I'm a little confused about that. You mean my profile? I don't know. Uh, okay. Not sure what to say to that, but all right. Okay. So So let's take a look here at not Q. All right. So we're going to start off with if false, then true. Okay. So if false, then true. If false, then true. So what would that be? So I'll ask you, Julio, really quick. Just look on your chart there. If false, then true. What would that be? Yeah, it's logic, my friend. Absolutely. So computer science is all about logic. So what would you have there, my friend? If false, then true. What does your chart there say, my friend? So if false, then true. Very good. That's correct. All right. Nice. Okay. 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 We're getting there. Nice. Okay. Good, good, good. All right. Getting there. All right. Let's look at the next one. If true, then true. So if true, then true. True. Nice. All right. So far, so bueno. All right. Let's look at the next one here. If false, then false. So if false, then false. That is true. That's correct. Very nice. All right, last one here. If true, then false. So if true, then false. That is false. Very good. Nice. All right. Positive progress. I approve. Very good. That is very, very good. All right. Well, let's compare. We're talking about equivalent statements still. So let's compare the truth table that we have here to our truth table from our original, which was right over here. So let's see. Are they the same truth table? The answer is yes. They are the exact same truth table here. So now we can conclude here that our original statement here is equivalent to if not Q, then P. So oop, I didn't mean to do that. Okay. All right. Are there any questions about that? Hopefully now we're having a better idea about how to kind of attack these truth table type of problems here. Any questions from anyone? Otherwise, I'll move on here. Okay. All right, cool. Happy to hear that. As I'm very, very happy to hear that. Okay. So let's go ahead and you understand a little bit better now? Good. That's why I wanted to go over these examples slowly, because I know that, even last time, although we went over the rules the last couple of times, it's just kind of a slow roll to kind of get, kind of comfortable with the logic there. So, um, I want to take our time here to do some things so we can get a little more comfortable with this idea. Okay, but I'm happy to hear that from you guys, so that's good. So now, hopefully, the more practice that you do for the homework, hopefully you'll get a little bit more comfortable with that. All right. All right, now there is a second part to this particular section, so let's go ahead and talk about that right now. We're going to talk about variations of conditional statements. All right. And so with variations of conditional statements, all right, what we want to do here is, yeah, it was, yeah, sorry about that. It was B. It was B. The answer was B. Yeah, no problem. Just for notes, that's cool, man. That's cool. Totally get it. Okay, so what am I talking about when we talk about variations of conditional statements? What exactly does that mean? Okay, it just means that means a statement can be written depending on how you want to write that statement in different ways. Let's talk about each of the major types of conditional statements here, and we'll look at its symbolic form as well as its kind of word form as well. Okay, so the first one here is something we already know rather well. That is called the conditional. Okay, we've used this now time and time again, even in the last problem. Again, we used it. So again, what is a straight up conditional here? So a straight up conditional here is just our standard if P then Q. So that's formally we call that the conditional, and that's where we get that from. So if P then Q. All right, so not too hard when it comes to that. Oh, I'm covering that up. I'm so sorry. Let me make that bigger. Boom. All right, there we go. Okay, so that's the conditional there. Now, there are other types of statements if we kind of shuffle the letters around or even negate the statements, negate the letters. So what happens if we flip it around, okay? That's what we call the converse. Not the shoe, but converse, the actual meaning converse. All right, so we have we reverse the letters around. We have if Q, then P. Okay, so all right. So that's the converse there. Okay. Okay. Next, we're going to have what's called the inverse. Okay, an inverse statement. All right, and that basically just negates the original conditional. It just negates again P and Q. So again, we're gonna have this here. So we're gonna have not if not P, then not Q. Okay, so just having that there. So if not P, then not Q. All right. Okay. And then finally, the last one here is contrapositive. So contrapositive, positive, would be helpful. So contrapositive basically is now reversing the not Q and not P around, all right, within the if then statement. So we're going to have if not Q, then not P. Okay. And so again, so if not Q, then not P. All right. All right, so these are, again, different variations of an if-then statement that you will see in some form or fashion, some combination, okay? Some combination there, and that's perfectly fine. All right, um, shouldn't be too hard to do. All right, well, let's go ahead and take a look here at some statements. All right, and we're going to go ahead and see how we can rewrite some of those. Okay, so let's start off with something easy, and we'll work our way up from there. All right, so let's start off with let's go with this. So if it is hot, then I am outside. Okay, so if it is hot, then I am outside. Okay, so a simple sentence like that. All right, let's write out each of the statements here just based off of that alone. Okay, let's first start off with the converse statement. Okay, so if it is hot, then I am outside. So what can help you here in this case is that you can go ahead and you can type in like P, for example. P here is going to be, again, if it is hot, it is hot. And Q here can be I am outside. Okay, so if you need help there, you can just say, okay, I have if P then Q here. Okay, but if you want to go ahead and do that, that's perfectly cool. That's not a problem. All right, so can anybody tell me here, what would be the converse statement here in this case? What would be the converse statement here in this case? So here's the converse up here. So how would you write that out in a sentence? If I am outside, then it's hot. Great, that's right. All right, nice. All right, simple enough. Reverse the stuff around. There you go. You got yourself a converse statement. Nice. All right, let's try another one. Let's try an inverse. So let's try an inverse statement. Okay, so again, an inverse statement here, we see up here, it is if not P, then not Q. So if not P, then not Q. So what would be an inverse statement here? If it is not hot, then I am not outside. Okay, good. That's right. So again, we just put that word not there. So if it is not hot, then I am not outside. Okay, cool. Let's use a contrapositive. All right, so contrapositive here is just flipping it around, the previous statement, the inverse statement here. So how can we express a contrapositive statement? I'll go ahead and scroll down here once I'm done. So I know some of you guys are writing notes and stuff, so. How would I write that contrapositive statement? So if it is hot, then I'm outside. But that was our original statement. That was our, sorry, that was our, pardon me. Yeah, that was our original statement. If I'm not outside. Okay, so, all right, so take a look here. You have not Q, then not P. So start with not Q here. So you have that kind of backwards there. So start off with, it says not Q. So Q here says I am outside. So we just take the opposite of that first, and we say exactly as you said there, Julio, I am not out if I am not outside. So if I am not outside, okay, then I am not hot. Correct. So again, that's why we have, again, not Q, then not P. Are there any questions about that? I want to be sure that that's clear. Oh, yeah, sure. Sorry about that. I I did say I was going to do that, and then I neglected to do that. Sorry about that. My bad. Okay. All right. Any other questions here before we move on? Do you guys want to try another example? Yes? Okay. We can try another example. That's fine. I have no problem with that. Okay. All right. So let's be careful about this next one here. Okay. So we're gonna do this next example here. So remember to read these statements carefully once we want to set these up. All right. So let's put this next example here. Okay. All right. So let me make sure about that. One little thing. It's a little dealio. Okay. Let's do this one here. It says, yeah, whoops. If the review session is successful, then no students fail the test. Okay. So if the review session is successful, then no students fail the test. Okay. Let's first define what P and Q are, okay, based on what we see here. So what should P be here in this case? Okay, very good. So we're going to drop, Jamie, remember to drop the if part. The if part there is going to be part of our symbolic form with the arrow. So just letting you know about that. I know it's minor, but just in case. So the review session is successful. Okay, yeah. I know it's like super minor. I don't want to be like, overbearing, but I just want to be sure that when you put it in like the homework assignment and stuff that you don't get bogged down with that detail. So, all right. Um, and what about Q? All right, perfect. All right. No students fail the test. All right. So that works out just fine. Okay. Now that we have that, let's go ahead and take a look at our other statements here. So we're going to write the converse, inverse, and contrapositive. So let's write the converse here. So we'll write the converse statement here. Again, let me go ahead and scroll up here. So remember the converse statement here is just reversing stuff around. All right. So let me scroll down here again. Now that you should have that in your notes somewhere. Can anybody tell me what would be the converse of our original sentence here? All right, good. That's correct. Spot on, everybody. So if no students fail the test, then the review session is successful. Perfect, okay? So that's the converse statement right there. Let's look at the inverse statement. What would the inverse statement be here in this case? What would be the inverse here? Let's go back to the inverse here. So again, inverse here is just, again, not be. So if the review session is not successful, then students will fail the test. Okay, good. That's correct. So very nice job, Fernando. Okay. Let's look at contrapositive. How about contrapositive here? So contrapositive reverses the inverse around. So what would that look like? If the students fail the test, right, then the review says, okay, good, that's right. So if students will fail the test, right, then the review session is not successful. Okay, very good. That's correct. Okay, great. Okay. Any questions about that? Give you some time to write that down. All right. Any questions at all for that part there, for converse, inverse, or contrapositive? No? Okay. Okay. You guys tell me, how are you guys feeling right now? I don't know. You guys tell me how are we feeling right now. Do you want to do another section, or do you want to wait until next time? It's up to you guys. So I'm willing to do another section here that will flow with the converse contrapositive stuff but it's up to you if you feel like your brain is mush after you know like an hour and a half. There's a lot of stuff in there. So next time, okay, we're like really far ahead of the curve, so we're in like really good shape. Just a matter of what you guys would like to do. So I'll let you guys kind of guide me next time. There's not a lot of stuff in 3.6, but there is a lot of stuff in 3.7. We're gonna um, there's not a lot of stuff in 3.6. There's just a lot of stuff in 3.7. But we need to do like 3.6 to talk a little bit more about equivalencies and negations and whatnot. So when we talk about equivalency and negation, that's kind of one of the more important things we discuss, and then we're able to kind of put that all together in 3.7. It's up to you. I'm not going to force the issue. So maybe not for today. So I don't know. It's a class call. So I'm not here to tell you yes or no. And that's only because we're pretty ahead here with the material. So we can afford to kind of hang back just a little. Yeah, 3.7's the heavy section, so we might spread that out over 2 days or something like that. So 3.7 is a pretty heavy one, but the yeah 3.6 there's not a lot in there, so we can pretty much do it like first half tomorrow, and then we'll do like part of 3.7 because there's just kind of like a lot of little steps to do in there. So we'll get that done. All right. You guys want to do next time then? I see everybody just kind of wants to do next time. So, next section here. So, next section is negation of conditional statements and their equivalencies. So, that's what the next section is about. So, we took those conditional statements. We talked about inverse, contrapositive, okay, converse, okay, and we can now make equivalencies as well as make a negation out of that as well. So, how do we look at negations of statements there? That's also just as important. So there are some very unique relationships between if then and say contrapositive and or statements. So that's essentially what section 3.6 is about. And then 3.7 is basically a compilation of like everything that we learned in the first 6 sections kind of all put together. So that is what 3.7 is talking about there, is making arguments and then proving those arguments. So um, that is what the next section is in reference to, I'll say. But since we had a little bit of trouble there with just trying to get comfortable there with truth tables, I want to give you a little bit more time to get comfortable with truth tables, and then hopefully the arguments section will go by a little bit smoother once you are used to the chart and using it and getting some examples in over the weekend. That was my thought. So, but again, it's not my call, it's your call. I put it in your hands, guys. So you like to move on today? Okay, I'll take a democratic vote. Simple enough. So I got one vote for moving on to section 3.6. Anyone else want to chime in? Oh, I missed Gladdy's thing there. I'm so sorry. All right, one for next time there. Okay. So we're 1-1. I feel bad. All right, 2 for next time, 1 for move on. All right. All right, 3 for next time, 1 for move on. Fernando, if you want to, Fernando, Kathy, Eugene, if you want to chime in, you can. Oh. Oh, I got. Well then, that was a misinterpretation. Okay. Okay. Pace says next time. Okay. Fernando's super neutral. He's like always on the fence. All right, that's fair. Oh man. All right, bruh. Indeed, that was a bruh moment right there. Bruh. All right. Yes, yes. That absolutely did not happen. Nobody saw that. That was you know, nah, nah, nah. Oh man. Rip. Right? My brain just froze. Well then. My mind didn't blow out this way. It was like internal, like whoop. Oh man. Rip. Holy cow. Oh man, that was funny. All right. Then we'll do it next time, guys. Okay? So, guys, I want to thank you all very much for coming out to the stream here once again here today. All right, thank you guys so much again. You guys mean a lot to me for coming out for these streams. You guys have been putting in the work. It's been 2 weeks so far in this course, anyway. I hope you've been enjoying yourself so far, and hopefully we'll be learning more as time goes along. Again, you can email me. You can email me if you have any questions regarding the homework or anything like that. You guys know exactly where to find me in that regard, so you shouldn't have too much trouble. So if you have questions, of course, feel free to email me, and I'll be more than happy to respond right back to you guys. Um, yeah, so next on the docket here, as I said, 3.6 and part of 3.7. We'll finish 3.7. And just to give you a heads up here, 3.7 is the last section of chapter 3. Okay, so once we're done with 3.7, we're gonna have a test like the following week after that. Okay, so once I make that announcement, once we're done with 3.7, then that's when the test will be due for chapter 3. Okay, so we'll talk more about the details about what will be uh, like will be put on for the test there. But just to let you know, the test will be on my math lab. Okay, so would you be able to use your notes for the test? Uh, yeah, you could use the charts there for the test there. So I remember doing this a couple semesters back, and yeah, I let them use the chart there, but sometimes it gets a little more confusing. Just to let you know, there'll be a time limit on this test, but it'll be a fair time limit. I'll also be putting up a practice test as well once I make that announcement for the test there, so you can get a little bit of practice time with the exam to kind of get comfortable with the format and the things you need to enter in there. And then you can take the real test there, in which I believe I'll put up 2 attempts, and the best score will be recorded there for you. So, uh, yeah, I think that's pretty fair. So, um, yes, That should be fine. Just note though, if I put a time limit, all right, scrounging through the notes may be a little bit more difficult. That may take more time. So make sure to balance out your time correctly. I'll give you plenty of time. That part is true. Okay, but make sure you don't get too bogged down there. That's why I'll put up the practice test there. So that way, again, you'll have a chance to take a look at the questions and stuff. What's the first test on? Just all of chapter 3. Section yeah, actually let me put that right down. So it'll be section 1.1 and 3.1 to 3.7. Okay. I haven't announced the test yet. So once I make the announcement, you will know right away. So So usually I make the announcement after I feel comfortable. Usually I make the announcement after I feel comfortable that we finish the sections that are going to be covered for the test, and then you'll have a week after that to finish the exam, and that'll be the due date. So it won't be nothing's posted right now, but it will be posted once we're done with section 3.7. So 3.7 is the last section for chapter 3. So I want to give you a fair amount of time. When you're staying at home, yeah, time does fly by. I think everybody's been kind of feeling that way since the whole thing started. Is that you've been sitting at home for months and then just, one day just goes by really quick. But I would hope to say this, Julio, at the very least, and to everybody else, at the very least, if you're having fun, even in a rough situation, I hope that at least that puts a smile on your face. So have some fun. Even if it's math, I know it's not the most enjoyable subject in the whole wide world, but yeah, have some fun, enjoy yourself, and you'll be learning a little bit along the way. And I don't think that's such a bad thing. So yeah, we have some fun in this class. You guys can shoot the breeze with me or whatever, so it's all good. All right, guys. Again, thank you guys very much. I will see you guys. All right. Um, Next week. Everyone, enjoy your weekend. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and you have yourselves a wonderful day. All right. Um, Take care of yourselves, and I will see you all later. All right. Thank you, Sam. You too, my friend. All right. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next week. Monday, same time, same Twitch channel. Okay. Let's do it. All right. See you guys. Have a good one. All right. Bye.